Welcome back in, guys, to the Living Deadwax podcast. This is what, episode 6, so we're cooking along, man. Almost 2 months into this, baby. This is the main topic show. If you do enjoy music discussion, music debate, vinyl discussion, leave us a like, comment down below, subscribe for more videos. We are also doing separate videos with vinyl hauls, record store hauls, that type of stuff. So if you're into that, you can check that out too on the channel. But today's main topic was chosen by Tyler. We always choose the topic at the end of every episode. We alternate weeks. Tyler chose the last topic. I'll let him kind of introduce it and kind of do the run over.
There we go. So I chose the best way to say it is like guilty pleasures, but I think that intrinsically implicates these things as like something we'd be embarrassed by. I'm not embarrassed by anything I'm about to talk about. I love all of these records, all these bands, these artists, whatever. I'm a big fan. So like, I by no means would ever be like, if someone saw my iPod in high school and like, oh shit, you listen to so-and-so. Yeah. Like, I would never react that way. So the best way to, like, the easiest way to say it, I guess, is guilty pleasures, but truly just unexpected favorites. Things that people wouldn't necessarily assume that you're super into. That's kind of where I took it at, and I think Ty took it the same way. There's nothing that either one of us are embarrassed about in general, usually a lot, most of the time, but especially not musical tastes, because both of us have things that we're into that, again, maybe a little bit off wall from what people would usually suspect that we might be into.
Especially not anymore. Like, I guess I probably would have been like that maybe in high school, but like,
oh, really?
I guess. I don't know.
What would you? Okay, maybe not to step on a topic here, but what's something maybe in that era that you might have been embarrassed by?
I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah, like there's not too much. Like, there's not too much here that like I would feel like really weird about it. Like, if someone, so something that is not on the list here, but like whatever. I was a big Mickey Avalon fan back in high school, and you don't know who that is, do you?
I mean, I know him from you, so
that's fair. So Mickey Avalon was a white MySpace rapper that would do gnarly stuff, gnarly songs, and whatever. Had a MySpace Records contract, and they got big on MySpace and whatever. And I still followed him on Instagram and whatever up until like honestly maybe a few months ago, and I just realized like, why the fuck am I following Mickey Avalon in 2022? I don't know what I'm doing here, so I did unfollow. No offense, Mickey, if you're watching this. I still like that first record you did. It's still pretty cool. I still know all the words to it, unfortunately, because I listen to it way too often. I went and saw him twice. So maybe I would have been a little embarrassed by that, I guess, but like I wouldn't have been like, oh.
But you're embarrassed by that in hindsight. I don't think because he was popular in high school. I guess. So like, I don't think anybody would have been like, what the fuck are you listening to him for? Like, I guess like if like country, maybe like if there's like Brooks and Dunn, maybe I would have been like, I don't know.
But now it's just what we listen to.
I don't care. Exactly. Yeah.
Now we would buy a Brooks and Dunn box set today. Like, I would a Record Store Day exclusive Brooks and Dunn first like 4 record box set or whatever. I'm there all day. I'm there early. Okay. I'm into that.
Get some variants in there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Get Brooks and Dunn 1 and 2 and Brand New Man.
Dirt Brown. Like
Red Dirt Road.
Yeah. Red Dirt Road Brown.
I don't want that record
what
though.
Are the colors?
What are the colors? Swear I drank my first beer. Swear I found Jesus.
I know
you do.
That's a good song.
I know you do. We've talked about it before many times. Yeah, it's like I wrecked my first car.
He did a lot of things there.
Drinking and driving.
Yes.
Many felonies.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
I took it pretty much as the same way. I texted Tyler earlier, like, this is the hardest topic for me that we've done so far.
Wow.
Because I really didn't know what to pick. Like, I could have just picked all country.
Yeah, fair.
But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to mix it up a little bit. And like he said, I'm not really embarrassed by anything, but I think I picked out a good mix to where, like, if you just know me as like, oh, you listen to Rush or you listen to metal or whatever, you might be surprised that I love these bands and acts as much as I do. So, I think we took it to both ways. Tyler, if you want to kick us off with your first choice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can do that. So
let's get going.
I'll go pretty light here. And I'll get more weird here in a moment. But
great.
There's a band that released one record in 1999, and they broke up within 6 months or so of the record ever coming out. They never made another record again, and they were broken up. What? And they broke up, and I got back together for Biden's inauguration for some reason, because it was I think his son's favorite song or some shit, whatever. But
son?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's why they did it, because he's his dead son. So R.I.P. that guy. Don't know his name off the top of my head. Bless the veterans. Don't know. Whatever. Anyway, support the troops. So anyway, this band, I have said for years and been very, very serious about it, because I truly believe it. This band made one of the best, if not the best, record to come out in the 90s, and it came out at the tail end of the 90s. That is New Radicals. Maybe You've Been Brainwashed too. This record is so good. I love every track on this record. The big song is "You Get What You Give." That's the massive song that everyone knows about, and it's on a million Spotify playlists. And I'm pretty sure, without looking right now, they probably have a few million Spotify listeners a month, based on just that song being added to playlists. They just made this one record. They never did anything else. Greg Alexander, the lead singer, did a lot of production work. We'll be out here.
I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead and keep.
Okay. So he did a lot of production work. He did one of the songs he did was Stars, I believe it was, on a soundtrack that was for a movie that was a big deal. I don't give a shit. So he did that, and that's kind of the biggest thing he's done. Then he did some stuff for, I think he did some writing for like Britney and Pink and like some other like pop acts, I want to say. But this is the magnum opus right here. This is a great record. This is the double LP on black. There's a gold edition out there that I've been meaning to pick up. It went away almost instantaneously when it came out. This is probably 4 or 5 years old now, and the gold edition went away, really quickly. And they actually found a box of them at Analog Productions, and they put them on their web store, I want to say about a month and a half ago. And they put them up for like $50, which, I mean, they were going for like over $100, $120 before. So it's not a bad deal by any means, but I just didn't pull the trigger, and they went away instantaneously again. And I think they just repressed this again. And I want to say Music on Vinyl did a new pressing of this that I've kind of been contemplating buying. Me and Ty saw it once, and I need to look more into it. But yeah, New Radicals, maybe even Brainwash too. Love this record. If I were you, I would recommend listening to Get What You Give, obviously. The title track is really good. I think that Crying Like a Church on Monday is a cool song. Jehovah Made This Whole Joint for You is a cool song. Someday We'll Know, I think, is the second big song on this one. So yeah, New Radicals, it's amazing.
2.5 million monthly listeners.
Oh yeah, and that's 100% off of You Get What You Give.
Oh yeah, I mean that has 333 million plays. The next single, the Someday We'll Know, is 27 million. So pretty healthy there. But yeah, that's a crazy thing. One record. Obviously, they had the Manson, called out Manson, had the Manson beef.
Oh, they did the Manson. Yeah, Courtney loved Marilyn Manson. Come around, we'll get your ass kicked. And I think that was a mini feud for a minute.
Coming after the big guns
at the time, for sure.
Just a weird fucking thing. One record gone, and then obviously he still did a lot of shit in the industry, but interesting. Yeah, just a very pop rock record, especially like maybe You Get What You Give, like that. That song is a huge deal, and like that's on your mom's playlist. Like everyone has that on a playlist somewhere. Like it's just insane. It's everywhere. So maybe this is like maybe pretty light in our You'd Be Surprised, but I think you'd be surprised how much I love the record. Maybe that's why I took it, because I love this record so much. One of the best records to come out in the entire decade of the 90s, and it squeaked in at the tail end. So there you go. New Radicals. There you go. Yeah. Alrighty, I'm gonna get the fucking heavy hitters out of the way. All right,
love it. Let's do it.
I'm gonna go with the GOATs. To me, they are the Black Sabbath of pop. They are the best pop band ever. They did it better than everybody else, and they did it first. And I hear this band in literally every major pop act of the last 30 years. Do you know what it is? We're on ABBA.
Yep.
This is the ABBA Gold Target exclusive. Comes on gold.
I love it. That's actually, I was going to ask you what it was, and if you didn't tell me gold, I was going to get pissed.
Yeah, I don't know what the Walmart version is different, but yeah, I mean, you can't not do gold. The record's literally
100%.
called Gold. I truly do think ABBA is one of the greatest pop bands of all time. They probably wouldn't like break my top 10 favorite artists, but if I did like an objective list, which would maybe be an interesting topic, like top 10 bands that you think like are the best at what they did, you maybe don't love them.
Ooh, yeah.
ABBA would be on there. Like just the production techniques, obviously the voices, everything is just perfectionism at its finest.
They have so many songs, man. Just so many tracks.
Yeah, there's so many, and there's so many that you forget too as well. Obviously too, let's throw it up in here. You got the drip. Just obviously. Like just killing it. I mean, just killing
I mean,
it.
that's what
like
Swedish superstars, right?
You got the cats. Got cats here.
Ooh.
Like I could probably pull this off.
All right.
You know.
I can't pull the other one off, so I think we kind of be dicked there. I'm sorry, brother.
I don't know, man. But
that blue though, that blue actually I think is even better right there.
Just drip upon drip, dude. Yeah, you got Bjorn, got Benny over here.
Also, that's a choice. So Ben's got a full tux or whatever you want to say on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Bjorn's got the cutouts. That's a choice.
Oh, yeah. I'm going different. I'm going party. All business party.
Here for a good time.
Obviously, ABBA's fucking ginormous. I think everybody's heard these songs. Obviously, Mamma Mia was ginormous, the musical and the movie version. I never fucking liked that movie. Not even just because I tend to like musicals too. I don't want to hear Meryl Streep and Pierce Brosnan try to sing ABBA. That's not what I'm into.
Wow. Yeah.
I
really never thought about it.
Anyway, like Benny and Bjorn basically did all that shit. But so they were heavily involved with it. But like, no, like I want to hear the girls sing ABBA. Like that's the point of fucking ABBA.
100%.
Just the goats, man. I love all the songs that you're supposed to love. I just love them. Like, look at this shit.
I was always partial to Fernando.
Oh, Fernando is a great song. I'm a big SOS fan. Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. That song's fucking sick. Just Waterloo's a good song. Dancing Queen, obviously. Yeah, ABBA's a palindrome too. Play on their the palindrome. Ooh, yeah, I mean it's front and back.
Good call.
Also, it's an acronym too. It's their names. If you never knew that.
Oh, never, not a thing, brother. Never knew that.
Yeah, well, Frida it's Annie, but Frida's her nickname, and Agnetha and Benny and Bjorn. So, yeah, they actually when they started out, they just had their whole names, like all their fucking full names, and I think like some dude at the label was like, "We can't have this. It's just like a fucking giant sentence." So, and they're these long ass Swedish names. Nobody can pronounce it.
Yeah,
so ABBA was
and also, nobody wants to listen to Bjorn and Agatha. It's not a thing that we want to do here. So,
yeah,
just do ABBA. Makes sense.
Honestly, too, another really fucking crazy thing is Frida is royalty. She's a fucking princess in Sweden.
Oh, really?
She married into like the royal family there in like 92.
Oh, wow.
Also, they were all married. So they're not together, obviously, but Benny was married to Frida and Agnetha was married to Bjorn. And it's funny because they were married the same amount of time too. I think each couple was married like exactly 2 years. And they got married at the same time and like divorced. I think they got married in 79 and they both couples got divorced in 81. So just weird shit going on there. But
so no, they were never together though?
What do you mean?
Nobody was ever together?
No, I just said they got married.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you meant not together. I thought you just said.
I knew I said obviously not all four of them.
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant okay. I don't know the laws over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But Frida was married to Benny, and then Agnetha was married to Bjorn.
Okay, I took that. I did not know. Okay.
Kind of like a Fleetwood Mac situation.
I was gonna ask. I was literally gonna do that. My comparison was like, so it wasn't like a Fleetwood Mac situation. R.I.P. Christine McVie, by the way.
But then she later remarried and got married to like some prince dude in Sweden. So she's royalty. Also, found this out the other night doing research. Her dad was a Nazi. This is real interesting.
Sick. So,
but
doing great.
It gets even more interesting. Okay. Her
Okay.
mom was Norwegian.
Oh,
So they occupied Norway. She was
yeah.
born in 45. So the
Oh,
Nazis came over. He knocked
he
her
just
up.
stayed.
No,
Yeah.
well, he left. He left after the
Oh,
war, after they lost. So he went back to Germany. She thought her dad was dead forever.
wow.
They blew up and became ABBA. And then a tabloid did this big thing about their families and shit. And they found
Yeah.
her dad. Her stepbrother was like, saw the magazine and was like, "Hey, Dad, were you in Norway like during the war?" And that's how she met her fucking dad. She thought her dad was dead.
Oh,
Crazy,
wow.
crazy fucking life.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, at least that's what I read. She might have played it off because she didn't want to be like, "Yeah, my dad was a Nazi."
Nazi? Yeah, fair.
I don't know. Obviously,
Same
maybe
T.
obviously that
Would
was
have done
looked.
the same.
Obviously, that was looked at probably differently though in the 70s, 80s compared to what it'd be looked at now. So
Yeah.
I don't think maybe would get the same reaction, but either way, I'm not going to crucify her for the sins of the father. But anyway, just a crazy fucking story. This is
That's
batshit insane.
Yeah, never knew that at all.
And then they went on to do some of the greatest pop music of all time. So
I preferred 18s personally.
You would do that. You really would do that. Fucking 18s.
They created their own relaunch tribute act. That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, what's funny
Love
now is because they just released the new record, which is pretty good. I gotta give it a few more listens actually. They released the new record and they're not even touring. What's funny about that band is they've never really toured. Like,
oh wow,
they maybe did.
Like
they
ever.
maybe did like 100 dates total.
Okay,
but they spent just hours and hours and hours in the fucking studio. Like I was reading
it worked out
about some of their production techniques and shit, and they were just in the studio forever, perfecting the sound. And what's funny about that though is they're not even touring now. They're doing a virtual. They're doing those Avatar fucking shows or whatever.
What?
The hologram shows? Yeah,
yeah.
Which is weird because they're all still alive. And they all still look decent too. Like you all still look the same. Like you're older, but they're
all in their 70s exactly, right?
Yeah, and they sound good too. So I don't know. Like I get why you don't want to tour, but like if you just, I guarantee they've gotten millions upon millions of dollars offered to tour.
Oh, for sure.
And then or just do like a Vegas residency. Yeah, I mean this is them now. Like they're not. Oh, I don't have it up anymore. But
so 70, 72, 75. And 77.
Yeah, so maybe you don't want to tour, but like,
yeah,
it's interesting. It's just interesting. So, ABBA, that's my first choice. Absolutely love them. One of my mom's favorite acts. And pass that love on to me. So, thanks, Mom.
There you go. Connie girl, shout out, love you.
Shout out.
All right, so another one that I have here. So. This is not my favorite record by this artist by any means, but this is. I picked a couple that they're just crazy expensive. So I love this girl. She's a pop act. She's one of the biggest pop acts of all time now at this point, but of the new age for sure. She's all over the board. She does a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different styles or whatever. And I've been a longtime fan ever since she came out in 2009, and that is one. Miss Lady Gaga. This is art pop. This just shows you because this and actually the Joanne record that I have are just insanely money, like insane money. Like because so this record, this particular record, it's the foil cover, which they never really did again. I think they might have done a little like another possible press of this, but the big deal on this is because they removed off the R. Kelly song after all the things happened and whatnot. So. I don't know why you already did it, but make your choices.
Mm-hmm.
So they never made another one with this and the R. Kelly song on there, the "Do What You Want" with My Body song. So this is like hundreds of dollars. The Pink Joanne record, that's an Urban Outfitters exclusive that I also have. That at one point was like $600. Just fucking crazy Gaga fans, right? So I have all the records. I like some more than others, but Gogs, I love Gogs. I love every record she does in a different way because it's just every record's just new and she does a whole different relaunch of her personality, of her era. Like, the whole thing's just completely different. Like, Chromatica was very different than what Joanne ever was, and then, so on and so forth. Like, every record's just so different. And I just love that. So the first record for me was Fame, which everybody's the first record that came out. I loved Poker Face. I loved Bad Romance when Fame Monster came out, and then Born This Way obviously was just a massive record too. I just, I don't think anybody's like her. She's so talented. She does every genre. She's a massive fan of everything. She did that set with Metallica that didn't really work out too great because of different reasons or whatever. And I'm a big Bowie fan, obviously. So if there's a female Bowie artist-esque person today, it would be Gaga. She's a massive Bowie fan. And she also is the one that did the Bowie tribute, I believe, at the Grammys, I want to say, after Bowie had passed. And which was pretty cool. But she's insane talented. Her voice is just next level. Her writing is just super cool. And I think that she's very, very, like, she's good with she has different foundations and stuff she does for mental health awareness, for LGBTQ causes and everything else. Just super cool. And the music is just a nice, real cool cherry on the top. And I've been mildly obsessed ever since. But I don't know. I'm not embarrassed by this by any means. I never was, even back in 2009, coming out of high school fresh. But I definitely don't think that people just initially would think I'm a massive Gogs fan.
Sure.
But we'll buy every record she ever does. Everything I find from her. I still actually need to buy the Chromatica remix record that came out a few months back. That's something that I don't have yet, but I have everything else. And I have a bunch of singles and stuff or whatever. At one point, I was trying to get all the 7-inch picture disc singles, but then they just came to be too much and too expensive. And I also got in the game a little later than I should have because I thought that $30 was too expensive. And then now they're like 200 plus for some of them. So I was like, all right, well, it's not going to happen. But I'm not doing that. I'm not going too crazy with it. But I have all the remix records. I have I have a bunch of the 12-inch remix singles too. Like, just insane. I got really lucky on those. I bought those on Amazon many a year ago for like $20, and now those are all just insane money. So Gaga stuff, if you're a big Gaga fan and you have Gaga vinyl, I would recommend looking into that, because at some point everything kind of gets expensive with her. And obviously the music is just awesome. But yeah, so Lady Gaga, the entire discography.
Yeah, you were in. I remember you were in at the beginning too. You're not lying. So
the fucking production on Fame, brother. I loved it. I love production on that record. It was so cool, and it was just different. She had the dances and the videos and stuff, and she was looking cute and whatever. Like, I was into it, and it's never really waned that much. I mean, again, I like other records more than some records more than others, whatever. But still makes pretty quality, cool shit, and is not afraid to take chances. And she, I think, ushered in a lot of the new age of the pop, not pop princess necessarily, because I don't think that's really what her genre would be, but just the pop world. So there you go, Lady Gaga.
Yeah, you're doing well too when you get like the moms and the dads.
Oh yeah,
too, because like I remember when A Star Is Born came out.
Oh God, I didn't even bring up her acting. That's so true.
Like, my dad loved that movie, so like I was like, yeah, she's really talented and all that shit. So like, you're pretty fucking talented when you can appeal to cross generations like that.
Totally, and then she has
the
Tony Bennett records too. She has the jazz records and the vocal records. Yeah. Like, that's super sick. I love it. Yeah. And Star Is Born, she made that movie. Like Bradley Cooper's really good in the movie too. Obviously, she made that movie, and like that's just heartbreaking, just heart wrenching, and just made me cry way too hard. Man cry, not sobbing, but I was really manly doing it. But yeah, also insane talented actress and everything else. So super cool, love it.
Yeah. All right, good choice. All right, let's go. My next choice. This might not be too surprising.
Okay,
but it's a band I absolutely adore, and I adore the man behind the band. Let's get ELO.
Nope.
This is Out of the Blue. This is probably their biggest record. This says Mr. Blue Sky on it, which obviously blew up after Guardians of the Galaxy. It also has Wild West Hero, which is a pretty big single. What else is on here? Turn to Stone, Sweet Talking Woman. A lot of good stuff on here. Cool Gatefold. This is an older
classic
pressing
record.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a giant ELO fan. I really love the whole catalog. Jeff is another, like, just like ABBA, another freaking perfectionist, and will just stay in the studio constantly to get that right sound. And the thing about ELO, there's just a little bit for everybody. And ELO really didn't get like dropped a lot for Guardians of the Galaxy, and then that fucking Mr. Blue Sky hit with people again. And kids started getting into that song, which some people react to it and go, "Oh my god, they're bent to silver." The way I look at it, though, is like they might be enticed to pick up the record, they might be enticed to stream them and check out the other songs. Like Telephone Line's a fucking gorgeous song. It's an amazing song. And like if Mr. Blue Sky hearing that in Guardians leads them to Telephone Line,
can't argue with it.
So be it. I love Jeff Lynne. I love his solo stuff too. A lot of cool songs in that. Obviously, I love Traveling Wilburys. Him and
a lot of production too. He worked with a lot of bands too, and a lot of artists. So like he's every way shape or form. Jeff Lynne does it, man.
He is doing re-records, which I'm not obviously not. We've talked about redos on the Vinyl Halls episode. So not a big re-record guy. He's got a whole greatest hits that's all re-recorded. It's like,
wow. Is that why it's called Jeff Lynne's ELO?
It is. Yeah, it is mixed.
Are those the re-record records?
There's something going on there. He's got new records that he's released in the last couple of years, I think, that are called Jeff Lynne's ELO. But there's a greatest hits that is like Mr. Blue Sky, the very best of ELO. That is all re-records in 2012. So, yeah. It is what it is. He's kind of George Lucas-esque, where he's like got to fuck with shit. So
going back to the well.
Yeah, but just to me, just listen to the originals, and this is one of their all-time great records. But honestly, you can't go wrong. The early stuff is like a little bit more grounded. It's not as out there like this shit. They really get into the strings and adding the orchestra. That's in the name to it. So, but they've got a lot of heavy songs too, like Rockaria. That's a pretty heavy fucking rockin', good, like kind of bordering on like hard rock song. I would definitely check it out. But they have a couple songs like that too that you wouldn't expect them to. So ELO, this is another band that my parents absolutely loved, and another one that passed on to me. So there you go.
I love it. ELO forever. All right. Another one that I have here. Ty and I. So when Ty and I get together, we always love watching pickup videos, watching collection videos, and what have you. And one of the artists that we see constantly come up, we make a joke that she has probably sold. This is not true, obviously, but if you were to track her sales just solely based on YouTube videos and YouTube vinyl collection videos, she's sold, I don't know, 200 million records, like just insane money numbers. And she's probably sold a good handful of million in real monies, but in real numbers. But one Miss Lana Del Rey, Born to Die. So I'm a Lana fan to a point. So the first two records were really where I'm at. Then she kind of lost me. Like I just kind of got over it. This record is the first record she did under the Lana Del Rey name. I know she had the record before this under her real name. I forget, Lizzie. Don't know. But this is the first record. And I didn't know anything about Lana Del Rey. I remember going to Zio once, actually. And we used to know a bunch of the guys that worked there way back when, and they would hook us up with a bunch of shit, like a bunch of the free stuff. And I remember, I think it was Terry, so shout out Terry. I'm sure he's watching this. So Terry actually, he was just, I wouldn't checked out, whatever. And he was like, "Do you want any of this stuff back here?" And I was like, "I mean, whatever you want to give me, man, just give it to me. I'm down, give me some free shit. And if I don't like it, I'll throw it away, whatever. It's not a big deal. That's how I treat things." So he gave me the 7-inch single for Video Games, which is a song off this record, and I didn't listen to it forever. And so then she kind of started getting a little bit bigger, and I started hearing her name more. And then I checked out this record. This record is fucking great. I love it front to fucking bottom. Like the Video Games is actually a cool song too. I don't know why that was a single over like a lot of other. She released an early single. But Born to Die is fucking cool. Off to the Races is fucking cool. Blue Jeans is cool too. My favorite on the record, if I had to say, is Summertime Sadness. That record is so fucking cool. For me, that's the best song on the album. That's a lesser appreciated song because I've talked to many people about that song, and it doesn't really crack them for some reason. I'm just like, how do you not fucking do this? Summertime Sadness is so good. And actually, so I have her first 3 records. This is the actually I got this, I guess actually Fry's Electronics way back when. Ooh. This is an import made in Czech 2 LP edition of this, because usually it's a single LP, but this is the 2 LP edition, the import. I got this for like $20. What is this, 2012 maybe it was?
Yeah, you used to be able to get some, when it was still open, you used to be able to get some deals there sometimes.
Oh, really? And they had a lot of imports. I think their distributor was based out of Europe somewhere. So I got this like $20, and like now I think it's not that it's super expensive. I think it's like 45, 50 or whatever for this particular press. But I actually got, so one of the movies I actually recently acquired here, Ty, at a Goodwill was Great Gatsby. So the newest one from 2013.
Gotcha.
The new one, yeah. So Great Gatsby, for my money, is a pretty cool movie. I know it was kind of polarizing for a lot of folks because, for various reasons. But I liked the production on it. I liked the glossy feel of it. I liked, the whole thing that went along with it, personally. And then Leo can do no wrong. But something I forgot about that until I watched it after a couple of days ago, whatever, is that Lana had the song on that record. She had Young and Beautiful, which is for that soundtrack, and that was the big single or whatever, right? I forgot that song existed, and that reminded me of the entire Lana Del Rey early era, and I just loved it so much. And this is going to be whenever we do vinyl regrets. This will make it. There's a wood box, weird like die cut box set of the soundtrack that has that record in there. It's a double LP record, I think it is. I think it's on. What made that super gnarly is their gold and silver metallic records. Like it's the first. I think I read the first ever production record of a metallic record. So. They had that up way back when for like, I want to say, because I remember this, I want to say it was like a $150, $200 or something or other. And I remember thinking like, oh, that's crazy. I would never purchase that. Like, that's just way too much money for that. Now it's going for like $1,000.
Wow.
So like, and that's a super cool set. Like, I'm actually really into the way it looks. And like, I guess they have since oxidized, because it's not pure gold or anything, right? So they've since oxidized and turned colors and whatever over the years. But a vinyl regret is not purchasing that. And Lana Del Rey, that's the big song off the soundtrack. The soundtrack's cool itself, but she's obviously the highlight. But anyway, that era, Lana Del Rey, the first 2 records, but specifically the first record, for my money, one of the best, new release pop records. And I think that she definitely brought in, as much as Gaga did for like the pure pop side, for Lana's vocal pop side, like she's the one that brought that into play in the recent times. Like, I think a lot of people kind of bit her style a little bit. And I've said that to multiple women throughout my life here in the last 10 years. And they disagree with me about that, vehemently disagree. But Lana's the first one to do the breathy, like, she's the first one. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
She's the Scott Stapp of every generation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or Eddie Vedder,
sure.
I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say Eddie Vedder. Yeah, I thought you were making a joke, but yeah, yeah. So 100%. Yeah. So I would recommend you do that. And again, if you watch any YouTube video of vinyl collections or vinyl pickups, that she has sold at least 80 million, 100 million copies of her records. Just everyone has it.
Did she drop our senior year? Is that like her first record?
So I want to say that Born to Die, because it's covered up right there. But when I say that Born to Die is 2010, Lizzie Grant was her first name, and then Born to Die. hold on, was
Maybe getting her mixed.
2000. Go, keep on. I'm sorry.
I just maybe getting her mixed up with somebody else, but I could have swore like I remember her blowing up like our senior year, like
2012. So yeah, it wasn't our senior year, so we had a little bit there.
I wasn't close. Interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, she had a Lana Del Rey, aka Lizzie Grant record. That was her re-release of the first record again. But yeah, so she's kind of like a little bit, sort of, a studio creation or like a label creation kind of thing. Like they had like a professional relaunch of her. Like she was on Polydor, she's on Interscope. Like she like did that, but like she's a real person. Like she writes her own shit. Like she does it her whole thing. But like there was definitely a method to the madness here of the machine pushing her for sure.
Gotcha. All right, good choice.
Lana Del Rey.
All right, I'm gonna go with probably my favorite. I don't know, maybe up there, but really up there. One of my favorite pop alternative bands from the '90s, and I don't know. I guess you'd be surprised if you didn't know me. So I'm gonna go with Goo Goo Dolls.
Ooh, yep.
This is Dizzy Up the Girl. Actually, Tyler got this for me. This is signed by Johnny and Johnny Resnick and Robbie, the bass player. So that is cool. The two main guys in Goo Goo Dolls. This is the Hot Pink pressing of Dizzy Up the Girl. This is their biggest record. This has Iris on it. I've absolutely just always fallen in love with their music. I dig the kind of acoustic, like good power pop type stuff. And I dig the story of the band too. Like they were a punk band, started out in Buffalo, didn't really do much, didn't make any money. They got signed to Metal Blade randomly, and then they dropped this record. They dropped this on Metal Blade.
Boom.
A Boy Named Goo, and then this also signed. Very cool. This record blew up. Name was the biggest song on here. They had Long Way Down on here. That was in Twister as well, so that certainly helped it. And this record blew up on Metal Blade, and then they just made no money because the label screwed them on the contract. So
really?
They were really big, and they didn't start making money because they had to pay off the contract too. So like Metal Blade took a lot of their Dizzy Up the Girl money.
Is Metal Blade a fucked label? I've never known this.
I don't think so. I just think they got screwed on that. I don't think I've heard stories of that type of stuff. And I'm trying to. I think I've heard other stories about different bands, but you can never tell. It's like, how much did you really get fucked? Or
every label, I guess, has stories like that. I just didn't know if Metal Blade was like that. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they're like that all the time, but definitely with Goo Goo Dolls, it didn't work out in their favor. And they were still paying off that contract like well into Dizzy Up the Girl.
Did they go to where'd they go after that? They're Columbia?
Warner. They're still
Warner. Okay. Oh, nice. Wow, good for them.
And then I have, this is not their newest record, but one of their newest records. I absolutely love this record. This is Boxes. I just picked this up kind of recently. This is still sealed. I saw my wife and I saw them on this tour, and it was awesome, man. They're still good live. They play all the hits. They play what people want to hear. And this record I absolutely fell in love with. There's some really good songs on there. So check that out.
What's that label? Let me see the label again. Is that the old Warner label?
I think so.
Yeah, that's nice. That's the old Warner label, yeah. Or like kind of a variation of it, but yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And then one other thing I just wanted to show off is the greatest hits.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So this is the Walmart version. It is on like kind of a green
teal thing,
teal green, yeah. So
that's awesome.
Very cool. All the songs you want to hear, and this is volume 1. There's a volume 2 as well. That's pretty good. It's got mostly B-sides and shit on it, and live cuts and stuff like that, cover songs. So
you used to have that early box they put out for Record Day like 2012 or something or other.
Oh yeah,
is that crazy now?
Yeah. That had it had. I think it had everything up to A Boy Named Goo.
It did, yeah. As far as I remember, yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so you had all the early
5 LP box.
Yeah, I did used to have that for sure. But yeah, Goo Goo Dolls, just good pop rock, man. I love John's voice and just classic ballads.
Classic. Yeah, I mean, listen, he wrote one of the biggest songs of the entire decade for sure, but one of the biggest songs of all time. Like Iris is timeless. It's forever. It'll go on forever. Also, like, I just recently saw City of Angels in a grab or like a dollar bin or whatever, and I just remembered, I was like, oh, fucking Iris, man, City of Angels.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, maybe somebody's forgotten that was on the City of Angels soundtrack. You know, whatever. But
song is way bigger than the movie.
Oh, way! I barely know. I just know. I think Meg Ryan's in that movie. Like,
it's
I
Meg
barely,
and Nicolas Cage.
I was gonna say that actually. I was gonna say Nick Cage, but I forgot. Yeah, barely remember that movie. I just remember the Iris being obviously everywhere, and yeah, just insane. So they're one of the biggest songs of all time. So good for them, and fucking Google's still fucking killer.
Still going, still touring,
still on fucking Warner Brothers.
I'm almost positive, like that newest record's on Warner Brothers. It's not the newest record, but
that's crazy. That's good for them, man. They've maintained a fucking relationship with the label through like thick and thin for them.
Let me look it up just to double check, make sure we're not talking out of our ass here. But
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if they're not, they were on there for 20 plus years, which is still pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're still on Warner.
That's good for them, man. Like,
yeah, they've only ever been on Metal Blade and Warner. Yeah, their newest record just dropped like a few months ago, August. I haven't listened to it yet, but yeah, that was on Warner as well.
That's awesome. Good for them, man. Yep. Very cool. Goo Dolls, one of the biggest bands of the 90s, well deserved. Super sick.
No, for sure.
All right, so I'll do another. So this is a more recent dealio that me and Ty again have seen a million times on YouTube and otherwise. But I back it. I back it pretty hard. I was a big fan of this record. I still am a big fan of this record. And she had a massive, massive year last year. That is one Olivia Rodrigo, and this is Sour. So this record is all about...
I've never seen that cover.
This is the Target. Let's see. I think it's Target. I think it's on like a purple. No, blue.
Okay.
There you go.
Like clear,
super clear blue.
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
Good for her. So yes, the Target edition, and yeah, she has a bunch of. I actually saw, side note, whatever, if people follow the Vinyl Jerk page on Reddit or subreddit, whatever. One of the things I keep seeing pop every so often is there's a kid that has or a person, I don't know, I'm not a kid, I don't know what the age they are, but a person on TikTok that has acquired the entire Sour collection, and so they show off all the Sour records, and actually it's a pretty cool transition, pretty cool video. It's like 45 seconds long or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But like he shows the cover, and then he shows the records, and then he spins the record, and he does a perfect transition, and the spin will perfectly go from one record to the next variant. It's actually pretty sick, and he gets dunked on really hard in the comments, which sucks. But like, you know, I think it's a cool video anyway. But this record was massive last year. I have so the whole gatefold and everything else. And there was also a thing where, like, if you bought this one, you had to buy the one that's made in France, because the one made in France is of a different quality than the one that's made, I think, in Czech, I want to say, possibly. Okay. Or maybe Canadian, Canada, I forget. But yeah, so anyway, so Driver's License was the first song off the record. That went everywhere. That was the first lead single before the record was ever been out. And I got shown that song. That song was pretty it's sappy pop. That's all it is. Sappy, rebellious-ish, like heartbreak pop or whatever. I don't know what your proper terminology is, heartbreak pop. But the entire record, I've heard it many, many, many times. And I like every song on the record. I truly do. Like Brutal, that's the like, it's brutal out here. And that was a big TikTok song too. And like whatever, Traitor. Good For You was another big one. Deja Vu was another big one where they mention she mentions Billy Joel, which sucks because it's Uptown Girl reference. Fucking hate Billy Joel. It's another video. She do people we hate. Like,
I got most hated artists or bands on the list. We just it hasn't come up. Yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah, we could do that and fuck Billy Joel. Hope You're Okay, Happier, Jealousy, all that. Enough For You. Like, it's just super sick. And she got prepared to like. She compared it. There's a Taylor Swift reference in here, like a vocal or a music reference, where I know she had to pay off and put Taylor and Jack Antonoff as co-writes, even though like it's there, but it's like it's not there. Like it is, but it's not. And then she had to do a Haley Williams co-write too, because one of the songs sounds like "Misery Business" by Paramore, which is again more just like it kind of sounds like it, but not really. Like it's not enough. But I think the label just didn't want to like, fuck it, we'll pay you, we'll pay people and put them on there. It is what it is. But yeah, so Sour, Olivia Rodrigo, she only has one record out, so I can't really jock her too hard. But this is a big record last year, and well deserved for me. Well deserved, super sick record. Would recommend if you're into the breakup pop stuff. There you go. Cool.
Another good choice. Tyler's running with the theme here, though. You know, it's all female artists, I think, so far.
Is that all?
All like when it was so far, I think you picked all female artists.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, well, I did New Radicals. Yeah.
Come on. I did New Radicals. Come on. All right. Yeah. I'm actually almost out of physical stuff. So
okay, love it.
But I'm gonna dabble in first country artist. This might be a crossover with Tyler too. I'm gonna go with a little man called Dwight Yoakam. This is the greatest hits, Last Chance. Last Chance for 1,000 Years. There's another greatest hits that has more tracks on it. Grew up on Dwight. Just excellent country. Like, I don't know. I think Dwight can appeal to even non-country fans because he's got that Bakersfield vibe. Like he was shunned from Nashville, so he's kind of got that outlaw, like vibe to him. Like he wasn't ever supposed to make it. Just absolutely great fucking classic songs. Ain't That Lonely Yet? 1,000 Miles from Nowhere.
1,000 Miles from Nowhere. We talked this before. If you aren't a fan of country necessarily or whatever the fuck, 1,000 Miles from Nowhere I think appeals to everyone. That song is fucking great. That video is super cool too. Super fucking cool song. I love Dwight too, obviously, but yeah, that whole thing, the greatest that you're talking about is also still really good, but I like that's the classic one. That's the first one, man.
Yeah, this is only 14 tracks, but you can get the double one. I think it's got like 20 or over 20. So, but if you want to dabble and just like get it, I would suggest start here.
Yeah,
for sure.
Plus, it's cheap. We've seen it for a few dollars all the way around.
I would love
the cool thing about
pressing of that.
And apparently they're gonna go back and do stuff because they did Guitars and Cadillacs, and he was on Reprise for years. So like they could do it if they wanted to. I don't know if they will. That's the only there's a few like newer records, but that's when he got off of Reprise. Also Dwight's story is super cool because he came from Kentucky and he wasn't really a Nashville guy. Came out to LA and California, but then LA, and he played in LA for a while with like he would open up for punk bands and shit, and he had like the cowpunk thing going on for a little bit, and kind of settled with the Bakersfield sound or whatever. That's kind of what he was into anyway. He's a big Buck Owens guy, and kind of settled with that, that kind of way. And his vocals are just super fucking cool. His songwriting is super awesome. The production back then from Greg Anderson, I think his name was, who is a crazy person. Don't ever try to look up that guy's interviews because he's a fucking insane person. He takes way too much. Pete Anderson. He takes way too much fucking credit for that dude's career. Way too much fucking credit. I think I've told you this before. There's not many interviews with him out there, but I think I watched it. I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago, and he basically just walks through how Dwight kind of would be fucking nobody if it wasn't for him. And how he just basically like did it all, and he didn't say that Dwight did nothing, but all the comments from like other fans of this dude's obscure fucking name here, because no one really knows his name, whatever. All the comments on the YouTube video were just basically like, this guy's really full of himself. This guy really thinks that he walks on goddamn water here. So anyway, the Dwight and his new records are cool too. Luckily enough, Ty gave me his second to last record he just did, and 3 Pairs, which is still super fucking sick. Ty gave me that when he got out of the vinyl game, and I've cherished that because that record is now a car payment. So a healthy car payment at that.
Yeah. The problem with that is like, what's the market for that? Like, it's probably just that expensive because there's probably only a handful of people that would want.
No, exactly. Yeah, honestly, if only a handful of us sold it off, there'd be no market anymore. because everybody that wants one gets it. That's it. Yeah. You know, like at a certain, that's why certain things like aren't really out there, because it's like everybody wants it, got it, and they're not selling it. So there we are. Yeah.
But yeah, Dwight's kick ass. Good 90s country that isn't stereotypical 90s country. If you're like embarrassed by that, I would definitely recommend him for sure. And I don't know if Tyler might have been bringing him up later. I don't know.
I wasn't, and actually I have something else here. I'll do. Hold on. I'll do a similar thing. I was not going to bring up Dwight, because I did try to avoid people that we've already talked about, like, or I've already brought up and stuff.
Sure.
Because I brought Dwight up before, but I'll do this now for my next one, because this is not something I'm embarrassed by. I'm not embarrassed by any means, but I know it's fucking horse shit. Like, I know, like, it's whatever. It's fucking Garth Brooks, the Legacy Collection. It's all the records. Like, or it's actually, I lied to you. It's not even all the records. It's just a lot of them. And then it has the Triple Live record. Like, I don't hate Garth Brooks by any means. Like, whatever. I don't think anyone respects Garth Brooks, because he has a lot of weird shit. He doesn't write any fucking songs. Okay. Like, he has a couple co-writes, but none of the Garth songs, fucking none of them. None of them are written by Garth. Not a fucking one. So, like, I don't know. I think Ty and I are both of that opinion, that you need to write your shit, or at least some of it.
He's still one of the biggest artists in the world, though, man. Anybody who can fill football stadiums, it's still pretty impressive to me. So,
very much so. Very much so. He's one of the biggest guys still today walking the earth. So I'm not a massive, Garth fan, but like, I like the records. I like the songs you're supposed to like. I just disagree a lot with, like, he just has fucked weird business practices. Like, he doesn't have Spotify
in general.
100%. Like, so we're gonna go on a fucking Garth and Jag here, but I'll try to sum it up here in a minute. But Garth Brooks wants to be the best-selling artist of all time. That's been a motivator for him for decades. So basically, the way that it works, guys, and everybody listening here, settle in. The way that it works is really interesting. Is, how Garth's done like 12 different box sets for like Walmart exclusives and stuff that he's done on his personally and everything else. So he's done a lot of that stuff, and you've seen like some of the Walmart box sets are like, there's like 12 discs in them and shit, like just insane stuff, right? And it seems like he's losing money on them, because they're like $21 for 12 discs, right? Just insane,
those vinyl,
right?
Those vinyl box sets are cheap as hell.
Yo, these also came out. They were selling for like, I actually almost bought all three, because there's 3 different versions of this. There's the digital, the all analog, and the remaster version. So like, and it's all the same. But like, and there's also different, like the live record has different covers do it and stuff or whatever. And there's like numbered boxes, and he encouraged you to try to order, because you could request the number you wanted. He wanted you. I watched this, Ty. I watched this at 7:30 in the morning one day, getting ready for work, just taking a shower or whatever. And I watched it. And Dwight was encouraging you to try to buy your birthday. Garth. I'm sorry. No. Garth was encouraging you to buy your birthday. Different so like people. Yeah, it's very, very different people. But he was like, yeah, so if you guys want to buy, I think my kids got me my birthdays. That's what they want. They want to get my birthdays. So they're going to me and Trisha our birthdays. And I'll get them their birthdays. And they'll be all boxes, this and that, whatever the fuck. And it's just insane shit. But anyway, the reason why these boxes exist is because Dwight wants to become, Garth wants to become the best-selling artist of all time. And every time you buy one of those, the way that the Nielsen... not Nielsen, fucking the SoundScan stuff works for sales is each disc within a box set counts as one sale. So if you have 5 discs in a box and you sell 1 million copies, technically 5 million copies or albums were sold. Technically. So the more discs, the more sales, the more he's going to try to eclipse Elvis and the Beatles and whomever, right? And I think he actually already has eclipsed Elvis. I believe that happened like last year or something. So yeah, it's just kind of horseshit. He also doesn't have iTunes, or he didn't have iTunes. He doesn't have Spotify. because he refuses to have them not pay him the fucking money he wants, which I guess I can respect on a certain level. But at this point, you got to pack it in, man. You just have to pack it in. He's not on YouTube. He won't post his videos on fucking YouTube. And so so whenever you go to try to find videos, they're just fucked weird versions for sing-alongs. He has the Amazon contract. That's what he has now. So if you don't have Amazon Music or Amazon Prime or whatever, and it's also just a couple records, it's not even his discography. He holds that back. So you have to purchase the next tier up of Amazon Music if you want that. Just fucking crazy. I just cannot imagine this motherfucker. He also tried to withhold his CDs. I'm sorry. He also tried to withhold his CDs from resale stores. So your favorite record shop that resells CDs, they would never have gotten a shipment of their CDs in there because he said they were stealing his money because they were reselling his fucking old used CDs because he wanted a cut of that. Fuck.
Dude, fucking Lars Ulrich dreams of being Garth Brooks.
Lars is Metallica. Literally can't hold a candle to this motherfucker.
I know. That's why I was just making a joke. Yeah, that Lars has dreams of like if he could just pull it off, but he had to play nice eventually.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And Garth now, like, and he's not an evil dude sounding. Like I follow him on fucking Instagram because he actually posts some really like just a little unnerving shit sometimes that he doesn't understand is awkward or weird.
He's a weird guy. He's a
very weird guy. Very weird dude.
My dad never. Ironically, they went and saw Garth Brooks and he was here.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they went and saw him, but
on this last like tour thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
5 years ago.
I told you that. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, my dad was like never a fan, and my mom was never really a fan either. Like they like the songs, I guess, but I don't know. The dude's always been weird. Yeah, so that is an interesting choice, I guess. But I don't know if you're really like into Garth Brooks. Like you just
I have the box set, like, and like truthfully, like it might be the only thing that if someone was to come into my apartment and be like, "Hey, man, you have a Garth Brooks box set," I would have to just say it was $20, man. Like I like the songs. It's $20. Like I'm not going to argue with that. You know, whatever.
And you can't listen to them anywhere else. So
true. 100%, brother. So it's just, you know, it's whatever. I'm not embarrassed by it, but it might be the only one I give an excuse to, truly. And I'm sure I have other ones that I need to do that with, but Garth is the one that comes to mind. But there you go. That's my next one for you.
Gotcha. All right. So let's keep it. Let's just keep the country rolling. This is my last country artist. Tyler might have one that I hope he brings up later. But I'll bring these guys up because I do absolutely love these guys, and I don't own it. I don't even know if they have vinyl. Like
they don't. They don't. They have. We're talking the same duo here. We are.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Oh, okay, lied to you. Okay, keep on.
All right. I'm gonna bring up the Mavericks.
They do have vinyl.
Okay, I've never even looked. But yeah, my mom was always into the Mavericks. Their lead singer is very Roy Orbison-esque. To me, he's the best Roy imitator. Like you have guys that try to do like Chris Isaac. He's like a Roy imitator. But
Good
I think
call. I never put that together.
Oh yeah, I could tell. He just loved Roy. But I do love Raul's voice. I think the Mavericks are an underrated band. They don't get talked about. What a Crying Shame is a great record. This self-titled record is really cool too. I listened to this record a lot. Actually, I liked it. I liked the whole record. Look at that on Spotify at some point. The Greatest Hits is really good too. You can listen to the Gold. Just good classic country. They've got a lot of like Tex-Mex stuff that I am not into at all. But like, if you want to get in like their ballady type stuff, just fucking nail it. Just kill it every goddamn time. So
is that Mr. Jones? That's not a cover, right? That's
no, I don't. No, I don't think so.
I
doubt it.
I know the Counting Crows cover. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the gold set. So I would highly suggest it if you want more like ballady 90s country that isn't played out, but there's a little bit more. It's like very almost like I said, like Roy Orbison type of like 60s you know, 50s, 60s ish type of ballads.
There Goes My Heart's a super sick song. That's the classic, you know.
Oh yeah,
I'm into
yeah.
that.
There Goes My Heart. That's a good song. I Should Have Been True. That's my favorite song.
Yeah.
That they've done. So, yeah, very good stuff there. So
yeah, they do have they have vinyl out there because I want to say that I've seen it at InGroove.
Oh, interesting. I would just love
recently.
Like a lot of these artists that we're talking about tonight, not like ELO, but not ABBA either, but like I would just love like a nice greatest hits copy. I don't need to own everything. I would just love like a nice. I don't want this cover on it, like they do sometimes. But I would just like a nice greatest hits with like a cover.
Well, then the next over is even worse.
Oh yeah, this is
even worse. But
yeah, just hanging out.
Can we please tell, I think it's Columbia, to fuck off with this shit? Like, you need to stop. Like, I understand you want to put out these fucking collections and stuff, and you want to put a greatest hits out there. Just please fucking give us a goddamn different cover. Please.
Yeah.
Like, I can't fucking stand looking at fucking Bob Dylan greatest hits, or there's various ones now, but Dylan was the first one that I ever saw, and it's the CD cover. It's fucking awful.
It's laziness. Just pure
lazy.
Yeah.
God, you're cheap bastards.
Listening, but just give me an actual cover. And oftentimes
anything else,
it's just the CD JPEG blown up, and sometimes it's all like it's all
fucking pixelated.
Yeah, pixelated and shit. It's like, yeah, you guys are just lazy.
Very lazy. It's fucking horseshit. If you want us to spend our fucking hard-earned cashola on these fucking $39 double LP fucking greatest hits, just put a little bit more fucking effort in there. You're not going to make it a gatefold. We understand that. We get it. You know, we're not expecting you to make it a fucking sick fold out gatefold or some shit. We get it. You're going to make a big fat fuck sleeve, and we're going to buy it, and it's going to be your stupid fuck CD cover. Just please don't do that. Just please make it a little bit fucking palatable for us to have in our collections, and make a new cover. But whatever. Anyway, contact me. I'll make a new cover for you.
Yeah, we'll Photoshop it up. What you got?
Yeah, I'm fucking great at it. All right, so another one that I have here. This band, unfortunately so. I hate telling people that I love this band so much. Not everybody I hate telling, but I hate telling some people that I love this band so much. Because they make the fucking joke. And fucking ever since 40-Year-Old Virgin came out, that's the joke to make. And they say it all the fucking time. So maybe actually not recently, because I haven't really talked to many people about how much I love this band recently, but growing up and throughout high school for sure, different story. Anyway, I love this band tremendously. They're one of my favorite new bands. I've been out the last last few records actually, but the first 4 records I am deep into. Specifically, the first 2 even more so than the others, but the first 4 records, super great. Coldplay. This is the first record. This is the 20th anniversary press of it. It's on Piss Yellow. And
I forgot about that joke in that movie until you just said
really?
Yeah.
Oh man. High school especially.
Coldplay or whatever? Or
you want to know how I know you're gay? You like Coldplay. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
100%. And in high school, because that movie was still pretty relevant at the time, like, nothing's not now, I guess, but it was brand new. Heard it all the fucking time. And it was just exhausting. I was just like, the band is cool. They make cool fucking records at the time they did. Yeah. Now I don't really care really so much. But still put on a cool show. Still make great live stuff. Love that. Still sound great. But this record in particularly, for sure, even Rush of Blood, that's still a cool record too. I think like it's pretty close for me between the two. I'd probably go back and forth. I know like the popular one is this one. This is the one to choose. But like Rush of Blood's got Clocks. Like Clocks is just, it's got Clocks on the Scientist. It's got some jams, brother. This shit slaps.
That came out. The one with Clocks, that came out like right before we moved here.
Yeah,
like 2001, right? 2001. Yeah. So I remember hearing that song. I don't even know why, because I didn't really hang out with them a lot, but I remember being especially in the car. I remember being in Jimmy's car with Colin doing something. I don't even know why.
Guy down the street.
Yeah, just a random guy down the street, friend of my brother's.
Yeah.
And I remember being in his car with him, and that song played on the radio. And we were like, "This new song." Jimmy was like into it. I remember him telling, listen to it.
It's the Clocks is a Super Sick song. Actually, I've never found this again. I'm sure I could if I really did research on it. But I fell in love with Clocks when they had on like VH1 or on one of the shows, whatever. They were advertising a fucking CD from like the Chinese choir, like woodwind choir or something other. I don't remember what it was. Might have been not Chinese, an Asian choir of some sorts or whatever, an instrumental choir. Yeah, Asians, exactly. Yeah, I don't know, but they were advertising that. But Clocks was the showcase song on that commercial. They did like covers of like a bunch of songs, but Clocks was the showcase song and actually sounded fucking so cool and sick. And then I went on and like I think that was like 99, 2000, or no, not because it didn't exist at the time. That was like 2001, 2002. It's like very early. And I was a little kid and I didn't have access to downloading stuff at the time, and then I think I saw it on like VH1 or something on one of the countdowns, and I was like, this is the shit. And then became a massive fan of this record. There we go. And this is the first record. It's got Yellow on it, obviously. Trouble, Sparks, Shiver, Don't Panic. Like everything is just fucking so great on this record. Spy is the cool song too. Something I do recommend doing, which is super cool, and I actually do this, and I think Ty does this too sometimes. I like watching contextual live shows. So I like watching shows in hindsight. So Coldplay has a few festival dates they played before this record came out. And they opened up the festival. I think there's one for, I think it's called like Strange Fest or like Weird Fest or something or other. But it's a festival over in, I don't know, Germany or someplace, whatever. But they played it just before the record came out. And they were the first band to play that day. It's a full Pro Shot live set. They played at like 9 a.m. And they ended up headlining Glastonbury a year later.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So just showing that, and then like nobody knew the fuck they were. No one was reacting. There was probably a few hundred people there. Like I don't think they showed the crowd they spanned too much, but there's a few hundred people there, and they just kept saying like, and like I think Chris made the joke, like he was like, yeah, we're really big, you guys might not have the record, but like we're really big over in whatever the fuck place they were. They're just making jokes or whatever because nobody knows who they are. And within a year they were headlining Glastonbury, which is biggest or one of the biggest fests in England.
I mean, on a lesser scale, like I've seen bands like that. I've seen Ghost. You've seen Ghost play to nobody.
Yep.
And they're the biggest current rock act going. That's not a legacy act. Like Five Finger Death Punch. Saw them play on a side stage at Family Values. Literally nobody knew the fuck they were. And they're opening stadiums for Metallica now.
Yeah.
They just headlined
next level.
Just headlined an arena tour over Megadeth.
I'm
not a huge Five Finger fan, but like still like that type of stuff, like hindsight's 2020. So
100%. Cool. And just watching the early shows for these bands, like knowing now, what happened later, just fucking insane. Just imagine seeing Coldplay open a 9 a.m. festival, playing to like 200 fucking people. Just whether you like the band or not, it's just interesting, fucking mind blow. So Coldplay, the first 4 records, all solid. Would recommend all of them. The newest records are really shaky for me. I'm not a huge fan, but whatever. But I hopefully they keep touring. I know they're not going to make any more records. That's a thing they announced recently. They're not going to do any more records, but they're going to keep touring every so often. So I hope to see the date at some point. I have never seen them. And I missed out on them by one day once. I think they were playing like the next day after I went to another concert, like Glendale Arena here. And I was like, I need to go to that tomorrow because there was tickets still available. And then I just never did it. So fucking stupid, but there you go. Coldplay.
All right. I'm going to go one country adjacent, I guess, or once was. Let's go with T Swift.
Knew it.
Particularly this era, 1989, Reputation and Lover. Like to me, these are her best records, like those 3. I'm gonna be honest with you. When this fucking came out, I just looked at the cover and I'm like, you just did this, and this is the fucking cover. This looks like the shitty black metal cover. So I'm like, I don't want to like, I've never even fucking listened to these records. They might be fucking.
Oh, really?
I haven't listened to Midnights yet either. I absolutely fucking adore 1989, adore Reputation. Lover is really good too. The title track on Lover is amazing. The production on these records are fucking exquisite. I think she was at her peak right here. I will give her props too. She's the fucking Kiss of our generation. She is probably the best fucking marketed artist out there. Like, hey, buy 18 different edition of Midnights and it forms a clock, and then you got to buy the clock to go with it. Yeah. And you can buy 18 different not 18, but you know what I mean, buy 5 different versions of the fucking CD that also can make a clock. And now I'm gonna re-record all my shit. And I understand she had shit with the label, but I'm gonna re-record it all and you're gonna buy it all again. Like, it's absolutely fucking insane. People still fucking buy it. And to me, I don't know of another artist off the top of my head that has crossed over so successful. I mean, she was pretty just pop country. Like, her first fucking records are basically just country records. Like, and then I don't know of another artist that completely changed into being one of the biggest pop stars in the world. I don't know of another one outside of like big country stars like Garth Brooks, who I guess you could also consider a country star, but he never, outside of Chris Gaines, he never really changed. He never really changed his entire style, basically.
Yeah.
So
no, you knew who that guy was first record to the last record. You're like, I could see this happening, but for her, a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Like 1989 sounds nothing like her first record. So I will give her props for that. And definitely will still jam these 3 records for sure. I used to own actually all 3 of them, but they didn't survive the purge, and now they're they're money. Now every pressing is just like, they're not like greatly expensive, but they're more money than you want to spend. And then like the record store day pressings are just fucking ridiculous.
The only thing I ever wanted, like, and like not even actively, but I thought it'd be cool, is to own the red. But the only way to own the red is that's the Country Music Associate, the CM, the CMA edition of that is that she sent that out to like voters and stuff. That's the only way to own that. There's no other red edition of that. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to own that, but that's obviously monies.
Yeah.
To her credit, for her re-records, I have not listened to all of them, but I've heard a good handful and a half, and I know people that have listened to all of them. She basically does a straight re-record, and the times where she doesn't, it is better for her fans, they say. So, like, because she's still young enough where she sounds the same and whatever the fuck else, so she's not Scorpions doing, Rock You Like a Hurricane 35 years later. It's a little bit different,
I do agree. It is different, but to me, it's still kind of the same thing. I agree. It's different. Like, she still sounds the same as she did in 2012, but like
the principle of it, she's still doing it.
Exactly. So, but I mean, good on you. If people want to buy the shit, so fucking be it. I don't know, man. But I absolutely still love these 3 records, and especially Lover. This one, I don't think Lover gets talked about a lot because it's right before she did these records, which were everywhere, which are just fucking massive.
I feel like there wasn't a lot of shelf life on that because she did the next record immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Lover is an absolutely amazing song. I mean, it's got the most plays on this, which I didn't even know. Well, I guess that's got. Jesus Christ! I guess that's got too. I remember that song when it came out. But "Lover" is an absolutely amazing song, and "Miss Americana" and the Heartbreak Ring, that is my favorite song on this fucking record. And it's awesome. Interesting because it's got like the least amount of plays, which is interesting. But
that's your contrarian side coming out, Ty.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's only got 150 million plays. What the fuck?
Yeah, you're fucking you're picking the deep cut B sides out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when you were getting into T Swift. I remember that era for you. I remember going to a certain sporting event, and that song was everywhere. We went to NASCAR.
Oh yeah,
that was right after the song came out.
That was Shake It Off.
Yeah,
which
everywhere.
That's an interesting first single. Because honestly, Blank Space is like a much better fucking song. But as far as songs go, I mean, both those songs. You're saying, oh yeah,
I do.
Well, I don't know.
To be honest, like, give me a little bit of Blank Space.
No, I'm not gonna. We can't risk the copyright, bro.
God damn it! Every so often, I get him to do some shit, and it's amazing because he does the.
You know the fucking song. Shut the fuck.
Yeah, I don't. I actually, to be honest, I know the song. I can't do it off the top of my head. But "Shake It Off" was a massive fuck. It was everywhere. It was a happening.
Yeah.
That whole record was a happening. But yeah, I'm into it. I can appreciate some T Swift. I never had my T Swift era. Maybe it'll come up at some point, but I have not gotten there as of yet. But the night is young, so
you'll get there someday.
I'll grow into it. You know what I mean? I'll get when I'm older. You know, exactly. It's one of those things. Yeah. Shit. All right. So another one that I have here. Again, we're going really lesser known artists here now. Like we're getting into like the nitty gritty. Like, oh shit, like I don't even know who that person is. So like, you know, my next artist, you guys don't know who this is. So, you know, whatever. So just bear with me for the next couple minutes or so while you just kind of, you know, not really know what's going on. So this is one. This is one. Miss Adele. Oh yeah. Well, you knew I wasn't being serious, right? Come on now. But Adele, I love Adele. I'm a huge Adele fan. The first 3 records, I have all the records and I have all the pressings too at this point. But the first 3 records, for me, my money, one of the best runs of all time. I think 30 to me, to my mind, if I'm being honest with you, is a lesser record than the first 3. It's a hot take. It's a hot take because people actually really love that record too. But I think she was on her first 2 especially, but 25 is still really cool too. But 19 and 21 specifically, that was the first record that I ever really got into. I knew 19 because I watched a lot of VH1 Countdown, so I knew Chasing Pavements, but I didn't know it any more than anybody else did at the time. I just remember seeing that video and hearing the song. I thought the song was cool, but I didn't have any reason to invest anything more. And then once 21 came out, and I think Rolling in the Deep was the first single, the lead single off that record. And I remember hearing that everywhere. And then I later like got into it, and then I went through a breakup at the time when that record came out, and I was like, oh, let me fucking attach myself to this record. And then I did. And then I was attached, and I just listened to the record and cried. I mean, more, you know, a little bit of crying for sure, but not as much as it sounds like. But I definitely gave some tears to this record. And 21 is just an amazing record. I think that she deserves everything that she gets for accolades and awards and everything else. Like I said, I mean, I like 30. I do like it. It's just not, it's not 25. It's not 21. It's not 19. So it's kind of hard. And then also just her sheer sales on her records. Like 30, I think, fell off, and she still, like, in a year sold like 5 or 6 million copies worldwide. But every other record is diamond. Every other record is sold. I think 21 has sold like 60 million copies or something or other, like just some insane, you know, squillions of monies there. But yeah, I love Adele. I love everything she does. And her voice is just next level timeless. She doesn't chase fads. Like there's like a little bit on 30, like there's a little bit of like different stuff that she's done that maybe could you say is more like modern sounding, but she just has timeless songs, timeless records. The production's always super sick. And she writes all her own songs. She has co-writes for a lot of stuff, but she was involved with every song that she does, and just tons of respect. She's also a really cool person, it sounds like, from everything I've ever heard or known or seen from her and whatever. I don't think anybody's ever had like a bad Adele story ever. She's just a Cockney woman from England, you know, and then she has the worst accent in the world, and she has one of the best voices in the world. So it's kind of, you know, the tale of two sides of the coin there. Yeah, so Adele, one of my favorites. We'll never get over this record. 21 is my favorite of her records, and I think that's just goes for a lot of people. But 19, 25, still amazing. And then 30, for my money, just a few notches lower, but still really amazing. So yeah.
Do you think she'll just keep going with the age thing?
No, I think she should. I think it's a good gimmick, personally. But she also said she didn't want to do it anymore. But she also said that before 30 came out. So because after 25, she was like, well, I'm not going to do I'm done. The numbers are done. I'm not doing that again, whatever. And then someone talked to her and said, no, this is a pretty good gimmick. And she's like, well, 30, I did go through divorce and I went through all this stuff or whatever. So like, this is me being 30. This is my 30th year. Right. And then I truly think that's a good gimmick. And like, as you get older, I think it's a really cool thing. Like, you know, you can age with the artist directly if you really wanted to. And while you may not be going through the exact same things that she is in that moment of time in that life, you still have like a context or a reference point possibly, and kind of see where she was coming from. But it was inadvertent. Like 19 wasn't supposed to be 19. Like it wasn't supposed to be a happening. And 21 was truly not supposed to be the record that was. Like no one knew that was going to happen. And so just kind of let her on that road. I hope she does, though. Personally, I hope she does.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, just like we talked about Gaga too, and T Swift to a lesser extent, but you get the moms and dads too. You get the moms and dads, you get the whole family. That's when you start really making that fucking money.
You don't sell 60 million copies of an album without selling it to every fucking generation of people. Like everyone fucking bought that record.
You know, and that goes back to the beginning of the episode, you know, when I talked about ABBA, like that shit's generational. And I think it's honestly
transcends.
I love fucking prog. I love fucking metal. You know, I love that stuff. But I think it's harder to write a song that would appeal to all these generations and sell multi-million worth of copies than it is to write a kick-ass prog song that's going to be heard by 10,000 people or whatever. You know? Like, I can certainly respect the artistic integrity of bands that exist outside of that bubble, but that like pop when you can really transcend that's really impressive. So, and there is metal bands that do Iron Maiden. You go to a Maiden show, you see everybody, but all ages, all walks of life. But like they aren't selling fucking 10 million copies of records. So
no. So, and I think for her money too, like the best thing about her is like I said, like for the most part, there's no like gimmicks, like there's no like fad that she tapped into. Like all those records you can listen to, like that 21 and 19 for that matter, they could have came out whether it be in fucking 2011, 2010, or they came out in fucking 1981. Like there would be the same shit on there. Everything is the same. Like they just use drum, bass, a little bit of guitar and piano, and her vocal is just fucking amazing, and it's just so emphasized on her vocal, and the instrumentation's, you know, the cherry on top.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I got a couple more picks here, and then we'll get this bitch wrapped up. So I'm gonna go, this one might be surprising to Tyler actually, but I'm gonna go Bee Gees.
Ooh, okay.
Another just classic artist that I grew up listening to. And honestly, I just like the disco shit. Like all their early shit I've tried to listen to is very just Beatles-esque.
Yeah.
I'm not a Beatles fan, but their disco shit, you know, this record's really good. This is a live album. My mom used to have this CD. So I remember listening to this all the freaking time. But Lonely Days is a good early-ish song. Obviously Jive Talking, Staying Alive, that whole soundtrack. I guess that's expensive on vinyl now too. Like I guess kids are paying like $30-$40. I was reading a thread on the Hoffman boards about surprising prices, and I haven't seen a copy of it in a while. So but I don't even really look. So
we don't look.
Yeah. Honestly though, like for me, some of the just classiest fucking pop songs ever fucking written, and that's him. The Brothers Gibb, man. This is the comp too that my mom had. I think my mom had this comp if I remember right. Yeah. And this what's a really good song? Tragedy is really fucking good. That's a cool song. Love You Inside Out. It's a cool song. Obviously,
and there wasn't
Staying Alive.
All their vocals real too. There wasn't. They didn't do any what am I trying to say?
And not Pro
like there's no manipulations.
Yeah.
Not it's all then. Real. Yeah. Which is just insane when you really listen to those songs, because you're just how does a human voice do this? Like, what are we talking about here? Just fucking, they sound great. These are definitely Connie Brown specials for sure. Connie Brown, very heavy on the Bee Gees. I've talked to her about this many times.
Oh, definitely. I've just always grown up on them, and I still love those hits. So anytime they're on the radio, I'll listen to them, and sometimes they'll even get a rotation in the Spotify sometimes. So there you go.
I love it. I love it. All right, so my last one. I'll do one more. My last one. Again, going still more modern here, and this is the most expensive record in my collection.
Oh,
period.
Nice.
My most expensive single LP that I guess a double LP, but single album.
Gotcha.
I love this record. I don't actually care for anything else she's ever really done. Honestly, I like this record a lot. It's her biggest record, I think, that's mainstream. I believe. Like, so I'm not, reinventing the wheel by saying this. But one, Miss Miley Cyrus and Bangers. So this is the record with Wrecking Ball on it, and Adore You. We Can't Stop, I think, is like a super cool song too. She's a song with Nelly on here, 4x4. I don't think I'm ever gonna get back into Miley Cyrus again, but this is the record to get. I think that I Adore You. That's the song when I think about it. I think that's my song on this record. I like it a lot. She's done a lot of weird stuff since then that I'm just not really into. But for this brief moment in time, Miley Cyrus and Bangers was a good pickup for me. And I've never sold this, obviously. I still have it. But if I was to sell a record, it would be this one, because this one is like $750. It's just insane fucking money.
Is that the only pressing of it?
Yeah. She did this, and I've seen it so often that I almost want to say that it's real. I don't believe it is. I could be lying to you. It's on Pink. I've never actually played this in my life. It's completely unplayed, but it's on Pink. And there's a picture disc version of this, I think, that might be real. I don't know 100%. But yeah, I've just seen just stupid. There's a lot of boots out there of this record. A lot of boots out there. But yeah, Miley Cyrus, her voice, I think everybody says this or whatever, but like, her voice is just fucking great. Whether you like the songs or not, her voice is fucking amazing. And then everybody and their sister brings up the Jolene video. So if you ever want to watch the Jolene video, you can see her vocal and her voice do all the crazy stuff that, she does. And it sounds amazing. That is the stereotypical thing to say, because it is fucking awesome. And she seems like a cool chick. I don't know. I don't say chick. I don't know why I said that, but she seems like a cool girl, whatever. But for my money, I've been out on Miley Cyrus for a good long minute, but Bangers, it's a cool record. Gotcha. I like a bunch of those songs, and I would recommend checking it out, because, it's a good one.
She comes from good DNA,
Very good. Yeah, she's Trace Cyrus's sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, has a lot of good DNA there.
She has a dad too. So,
who's her dad?
A little Billy Ray.
Who did he ever beat?
He beat Megadeth.
Did he? What's that? What?
Achy Break Your Heart was number 1, and I think Symphony of Destruction was number 2.
Wow, good for him.
Megadeth from having. Good for him.
Good for him. No, yeah, no. Her, she has a bunch of people in her family now that do stuff, but yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus is a pretty good stock to come from, I suppose. He just has the one song, I think. I don't know, like, but it was massive. It was like, it was a happening. Like, it was a entire section of I Love the 90s on VH1. So like, it was worth something. And also, like, line dancing was a thing and shit. And then he also was in the Lil Nas X song now. So like, what's it called? Old Town Road.
Okay, gotcha.
Old Town Road, of which also paid Trent and Atticus, Nine Inch Nails, because it has the Nine Inch Nails sample in there too. So Trent Reznor has a country music award on his mantle tonight, y'all.
Hell yeah.
So thank you, Trent.
Good for him. All right, let's get to my last one, and then I do have one I want to talk about, because I got to tell the story, because Josh told me to tell the story. So
love it. Keep going.
But let's go with this one. This is my probably current biggest vinyl regret, is selling this shit off, because I had a lot of this stuff, but what we're going to talk about. And it's expensive now. Okay. So Oingo Boingo. Seminal 80s ska, punk, prog, just fucking weird.
Everything.
Yes. Danny Elfman, the front man, obviously famous for many different things, movie scores, Tim Burton's main guy. And I think that's why all this shit's expensive, because I think girls started figuring out, oh, he has a band. And that's because this stuff used to be cheap, and that's why I used to own it. I had Dead Man's Party, had a nice copy of that, had a nice copy of Nothing to Fear. I had this Violent Love EP. Want to say I had Good for Your Soul. I had this Greatest Hits. That was an 89 pressing. That's only ever been pressed once, by the way.
Yep.
On vinyl. I even had this 1990 record too. So I nearly had the whole fucking discography. That's gone now. And you do not see Oingo Boingo. And when you do, it is not cheap. You're spending $50 plus, no matter the condition. Dead Man's Party got a recent-ish repress, I think like 2019. That even goes for like plus $70. Wow. Very, very cool red pressing. Obviously, big band. They did Weird Science. That's the song that's in the movie. Dead Man's Party is probably my favorite record. It's probably most people's favorite record. That's their biggest song too, probably. But they got a lot of cool songs. And I was introduced to this band from one Dan Brooks, who's come up on the podcast before. I remember.
All right. I didn't know that.
Oh, I don't think. Maybe I never told you. I was in the. I don't know if I was in the Neon. This is the Neon days or the Shadow days, but either way, Oingo Boingo came up on his iPod, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this? This is interesting." And I've been a fan ever since. So, and they still get heavy rotation. Like I would even take a 20th Century Masters. I would even take this with this fucking god awful cover.
Yeah. Dan Brooks' iPod should be in the Rock and Hall of Fame.
It really should.
Yeah, there's a lot to come off that thing. Yeah. We'll petition that for Jan Warner. You had all that. I remember being there for most of those pickups, and I think every time we ever see it now, it's money. I mean, he's done so much. You don't see it very, very often. He's done so much. I mean, he didn't he do The Simpsons too?
Yep, he did The Simpsons, same song. He's done basically every Tim Burton movie.
So Nightmare and all that stuff.
Yeah. He's done so many different scores. So I think that's why it's so much money. Also, none of it really gets repressed, which is part of it too. Yeah. But I think that appeals to people once they figure out who he is and then who's in this band. Oh, that's the guy who did the Nightmare on Elm Street fucking score? Well, shit, I'm going to pay $75.
I mean, Nightmare for Christmas.
Or sorry, Nightmare for Christmas.
I was first. I was like, Nightmare. He did Nightmare on Elm Street. Fuck yeah, you got you.
No, he did not. Totally different
because
score.
Very different. No, I was gonna say because Tim Burton has a resurgent every fucking 3 or 4 years. The weird kids get into it, and then kind of keeps going, passes it down to the next gen.
Now he's got the biggest show ever on Netflix. It surpassed Stranger Things.
What's the show?
Wednesday.
Oh shit!
Wednesday Addams.
Did not know that was Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton show.
Wow.
I don't know if Danny does. Danny probably does the score too. But it's surpassed. I saw that the other day. I think yesterday I saw that headline. Yeah, it's past Stranger Things for the most streamed show, like within X amount of time period or some shit. So
that's insane. Good for him. I've seen a lot of people post about it. Good for him. He just did a concert too, at Coachella.
Tim Burton did?
No, Danny Elfman.
Oh, okay.
And he played all the shit. Like that was one of the nights. I don't know if he headlined or whatever, but he did one of the nights at Coachella, and he played all the stuff, obviously. And it was a major hit.
One, honestly, a topic that will come up someday on the podcast is time machine tours, and Chili Peppers. Shit. Chili Peppers opened for Oingo a lot, like in the 80s.
Wow,
and that would be a crazy show to see. Especially early Chili Peppers when they're just batshit
all
insane.
Funk and shit.
Yeah. So that would probably come up on my time machine tours. But one last thing I want to talk about is Brooks and Dunn. I think that covers both of us. We absolutely adore Brooks and Dunn, one of the greatest 90s country acts.
100%.
Yeah, of the 90s for sure. And Josh wanted me to tell a story when we were listening to Brooks and Dunn. We were watching videos in my old office room at the house, and then like my dad came in, and remember my dad was like, he was pissed at first. He was like, turn that shit. and then he realized we were listening to Brooks and Dunn. He's like, all right, just keep it down. Because he thought we were listening to something loud or fucking
something gnarly, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
Something he was out on. Something he was not
Exactly.
into. Yeah.
100%. But then he was
That's
like,
amazing.
all right, just turn it down.
Yeah, I mean, listen, middle class whites from the 90s, like, listen, we were indoctrinated with that era of country for sure. Like, I know, like, obviously country, like pop country, this is not real country shit happens, every generation basically. But that era of country, like, that was just everywhere. Like Alan Jackson, Dwight Yoakam, Brooks and Dunn. Well, Dwight's, we just said it's a little bit out, but Brooks and Dunn, Garth Brooks, all that stuff. Tim McGraw, all that stuff was everywhere. Like, and then there was even the lesser knowns were still big, like Travis Tritt. Big mark on Travis Tritt. There was one Connie Brown, Vince Gill. My grandmother was in love with Vince Gill. Leanne Rimes was everywhere. Martina McBride, Ree McEntire. Who else? Just everybody. Trisha Yearwood, Faith Hill. Everyone that's married to other country guys. But
pretty much.
Like that shit is everywhere, man. Yeah, Brooks and Dunn. Again, Brooks and Dunn. I think for both of us, I think if somebody figured out how much we love that era country, they would be shocked by that. But again, I think that was just a happening. That was just. I think everybody should probably have that era, and if they don't, I don't know. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. I don't want to make judgment calls here. Maybe you just weren't really in the same place we were. I guess I don't know because
it's very nostalgic, but it's more than that too. Like there's some good fucking songs in there, man.
Very good songs, man. I still remember our buddy Zach just talking about Neon Moon. He's like, "You're listening to Neon Moon? This is like middle school. So sad, man." I love you, Zach. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, brother. We were like 13 years old.
It is a sad song, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, sure. Why is a 13-year-old boy in middle school saying, "You ever listen to Neon Moon"? Sad, man.
Yeah, it's like getting out. It's like getting out, going to work, fucking listening to Neon Moon, pissed off, making no money.
Yeah, crying into your beer kind of shit.
Yeah,
like
tearing
God
my beer.
Damn, exactly.
So
we're 13, my brother. Like we don't know anything. Yeah, Brooks and Dunn though. Brooks and Dunn is great stuff. I still remember My Maria. So when back when I was a child, I think I told you a story before. I just think about when My Maria comes on. I just think about being with my dad and my mom and like driving around in the white Chevy in the middle of the desert. And on the radio, listen to KNIX or whatever, and then and My Maria would come on, and my dad cranking it up, and like on that was the button one, so the 90s Silverado, so he had to do the button, and he cranked that one up, we had the windows down and shit, and it was like I don't know, early summer, so it was not that hot yet, and just cruising, listening to My Maria, man, just super sick. But yeah.
Brooks and Dunn was always amazing. Cleaning music in our house when when you started hearing Brooks and Dunn on at 6:30 a.m.
You knew it was about cleaning time.
You knew what the fuck was going on here.
100%.
Up, get out of bed, help fucking clean.
Yeah, you better prepare to start hearing that fucking vacuum.
Brooks and Dunn is on. It's go time. Anyways, guys, that is our kind of guilty pleasures, I guess. Bands that people would be surprised that we're into, or artists, or what have you. We certainly appreciate you watching if you made it this far. Do all the typical YouTube stuff. Comment down below what are some of your guilty pleasures. Leave a like, subscribe for the video, or subscribe to the channel. Check out our vinyl hauls, Record Store Hauls, new series coming on the channel as well. But anyways, we always end with the choosing of a topic, and I'm going to go with something.
Your turn, my brother.
I'm going to go with something that is topical. Just got some new news announced by these guys. So I'm going to go with Metallica ranking.
All right.
Next week, rank all the Metallica albums. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What did you think it was? Like ranking the members?
I thought top 5 songs, top 10 songs, ranking the members. biggest dicks, you know, all
Rob
that stuff.
number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, duh.
No, rank the albums. So you might have to do some re-listening.
Oh yeah.
But you know,
I'd have to dive into. I need to go revisit Reload and Load, and then also Death Magnetic and Saint Anger. I would need to go back and really give those a listen. Are we also factoring S&M, Garage Days, all that stuff too, or no?
No live records,
just straight
studios.
Albums.
Yeah, just straight studio stuff. So basically, kill them all through Hardwired for now. So until the new one drops. But yeah, we'll do that, and then maybe we could revisit it and put the new one in the ranking too. I figure that's not. It's going to be hard to do these rankings because it's going to be hard to choose a band that like both of us absolutely love and wouldn't mind re-listening to shit. But I figure Metallica is one of them. So
yeah, what's funny is if you made this far, you might pick up by it. Me and Ty have very different tastes in a lot. We have a lot of the same tastes, a lot of them, but we also have very different tastes in a lot of shit as well. So you can tell what we bonded over and what we, you know, where we delineate a little bit. You can tell.
Yeah, but it comes from an interesting place though, because you learn about new bands that you maybe not have heard of because you're not into those scenes, and then you learn about, you know, kind of why people are into those bands. So but yeah, Metallica ranking is coming at you next week. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Thanks guys.